here. I actually have a video that I've been wanting to do on the different types of what we'll call psychic abilities. Now, if you remember, I did a video on my own psychic ability, or I talked a bit about it. Not too much. I got kind of sidetracked with a lot of it. But in this video, I want to kind of go over the list of different psychic abilities and different just different psychic what we'll call attributes, I guess you could say. Now again, I don't know how true these are, or if any of them, or if any or all of them do exist. Now, I do know clairaudience, clairsentience. Clairaudience is just the hearing of what we'll call spirits. Clairsentience is the ability to sense the spirits or the energies around the room or area you're in. And there's different ones as well. There are different clairaudience and clairsentience types. Some are mixed, where you can both feel and see spirits, and you can hear them as well. Again, this is just what I can find online. Now, Wikipedia, I don't know how truthful it is, but if you want to look for yourself and follow along, I will leave the link to that Wikipedia article in my bio, or not in my bio, in the description below, sorry. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Now, the first psychic ability is apportation. The ability, so that, I'm not even sure if I'm saying that right. That is the ability to undergo materialization, disappearance, or teleportation of an object. So, say for instance, I was able to, let's say this water bottle, for instance. Say this was in my living room, or in my car, or whatever, and I remembered that I left it in one of those areas. So I just, from what I understand, you can kind of see and materialize that object in front of you. Now again, it may not be truthful, it may not be even a part of it, I don't know. Again, I'm just going off a Wikipedia article. I do not know how truthful it is, or how much of the information that is on here is true. But I do know that there's a similar term for it, just not the one that they're using. But again, I don't really know. I've only just started to do research myself on a lot of it. So again, I'll leave that article that I'm using right now in the description below. And that is how that will... So for the sake of this video, I'm just going to be listing off and reading the different descriptions of these abilities and psychic forms that you could use, that quite possibly people could have. Again, I don't know. I'm not saying it's true. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just doing my research. So that's the first one. Now, the next one is astral projection or mental projection. The ability to voluntarily project the astral body or consciousness. Being associated with the out-of-body experiences in which the astral body is felt to temporarily separate from the physical body. Now, astral projection kind of happens if you're asleep. It could happen with your knowledge or without you even knowing. A lot of people, and especially me in particular, I've had experiences with my astral projecting, and it's very, to say the least, it's very weird, but at times it's very fun, I guess you could say, because you kind of can remember a lot of the astral projection or dreams that you'll have while you astral project. Also, I wanted to say, each one of these I'll do a separate video, and believe me, there's a lot, so there's going to be a lot. I'm just going over the astral, like the different aspects of these abilities and what is basically written on this Wikipedia article. But I will do videos separate to where I'm just going to be talking about one in particular, or maybe two in particular, however many I'll be able to fit in one video. But for now, this is just me going over a list of different abilities or psychic things that could happen, or people that could have them. But yeah, so that's gonna be the video for that, and for this one I'm just gonna keep going over all the different ones and all the different information that's on here on this article. So the next one is automatic writing, the ability to draw or write without conscious intent. Now that one, I've heard of people actually have been able to do that, especially in, I believe, Wiccan beliefs. There have been a lot of people and practitioners that have done automatic writings in readings and or in their craft. I should say. Sorry. Now, myself, I've never been able to do that. If and when I'm able to, and that's a big if, because it takes a lot of energy and a lot of different aspects of yourself and giving up a piece of the conscious so that you can start to have experiences with another astral plane, we'll call it. So, again, people have been doing that. That's been a thing for I don't know how long. And you're able to do that, but again, it takes a lot out of you and it's very draining. So you have to kind of have that energy and be up for that experience. Not a lot of people are, and not a lot of people can. Not that they can't. There's a lot of people that aren't willing and aren't ready for that type of thing and psychic ability. The next one is divination, the ability to gain insight into a situation using occult means. So what that means is basically divination is like me using one of these, a pendulum, or even tarot cards. Now again, divination can be a lot of different things. I'm just naming the two that I've been using and that I've known for a long time. Dowsing, the ability to locate water, sometimes using a tool called the dowsing rods. Now the dowsing rods are also a good divination tool. Those are also very helpful, like they said, in finding water if you're lost, or even communicating with spirits. Now again, I'm going to say this because using dowsing rods is, one, very tricky, and you can be some people can be tricked into believing it's one spirit, but in fact it could be a spirit that has malicious intent or is evil in nature. So using that will open yourself up more and more as well to your psychic gifts. But do be wary and do be careful of those, because again, you really don't know what could be coming through. You have to kind of trust yourself and know that this spirit may or may not have malicious or bad intentions. Energy medicine. The ability to heal with one's own empathetic, etheric, astral, mental, or spiritual energy. That is also true. That is an actual ability that some people have. I think it's mainly a shaman type deal. But again, I'm not sure. I know I've been able to kind of do a similar, if not the exact same thing. It's a type of healing. It's mainly like, so think of it as actual medicine, but instead of like all the chemicals and all the stuff that they use in that medication, healers will kind of take in and fix the energies that you don't need or that no longer suit the purposes that you are being led for. Very few people that I know in my own circle are able to do it. I'm one of them. I'm able to heal, much like with the energetic medicine. I kind of have an empathetic ability to where I can sense, feel, and even know what type of energies I'm getting myself into, or even if my friends have a situation that they're not telling me. Again, I don't really push. I'm not the type of person to push. I will ask, and if they say yes, there's something wrong, or that they're doing, or that, not that they're doing something, that more that they're having problems with themselves spiritually, then I can kind of help and try and help them fix, if not help them understand what is being blocked or what they're taking in negatively. The next one is levitation or transvection, the ability to float or fly by mystical means. Again, that is, I don't really know if that is true, if that is an actual ability. Again, mainstream media has kind of fluffed a lot of the different stuff that, that are psychics' own ability. Now again, it's a cool thing that you can kind of, I think that, levitation and all that is cool. But it takes a lot of practice and a lot of will, because it's not something that you can just do in one day. You have to practice, and you have to do a lot of meditation and a lot of things with yourself, like just making sure that you're spiritually and mentally and physically ready. Now, I'm not saying exercise and do all that. What I mean is physically make sure that you are in a safe area, like a room or somewhere that you are safe and you're not scared. Mentally, just try not to overthink a lot of it, because again, it's you have to learn. You have to do a lot of practice and do a lot of meditation. So again, I don't know how truthful that is. I've heard of it. I've read about it too. But again, it could be something that mainstream media has just fluffed and made a lot of people think, oh, well, it's very easy. Mediumship or channeling, the ability to communicate with spirits. Mediumship or channeling, Same thing as psychic ability. You basically what it is you're, if you know these different, or the 7 chakras, what I'm talking about. So you have your crown, you have your root chakra, which is the it's a point right in between your forehead, right in between your eyebrow and your forehead, right in the center. Again, that's a lot of meditation, a lot of practice, and a lot of just working with yourself. Mediumship is the same thing. It's clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, all that. And again, it's very draining, and it's very not harmful, more just draining. It's something that takes a lot out of you. Precognition or precognition or premonition, the ability to perceive future events. That is also very true. Precognition or premonition, whichever you use or whichever term is more easy to pronounce. That is, again, that's something that's very common for a lot of people. I don't know if it's, again, I don't know how many, I don't know if it's a lot or not, but I know people do have that ability, if not a similar type. Again, these abilities and these psychic gifts are draining, and they do take a lot out of you. So it does take a lot of strength and willpower to kind of use them, because it does, like I said, it drains you. It makes you so tired and either dizzy. Now, if for some reason you feel that it's been open to you too quickly, then you, again, meditation is a good way to help you kind of realign yourself with the physical, with your physical body instead of your what we'll call astral body. So again, doing a lot of meditation, doing a lot of self-reflection, and even, some people even write in a journal about their experiences, which is, again, it's good. It's a good idea to always write your experiences in a journal or somewhere you can keep safe. So don't, and I'm going to say this early because it's important. Don't feel like you, if it does open to you too quickly, because as children we kind of already are open to it immediately. Some people growing up, they may not want it, so they close themselves off. Me being the curious person that I am, and having a long line of psychics and clairvoyants in my family, I am very open to it, and I'm very grateful for it. Again, not to say that as a child it was scary, because you're a child and you don't know why you're seeing all this stuff. But as you grow older, if you feel that it is getting too much and that it is affecting your daily life in general, you can kind of choose early on to close yourself off. And I don't, and for some people they close themselves off completely. For others, they just don't really want to see the spirits. They more or less just feel them now when they're older. My mom is the same way. She can feel the energies and the different spirits in the room or in the area. Me, I'm able to sense, communicate, and or see on times if they choose. Again, it's a learning process. Think of it like you're back in school. except without all the bullying and all that, because that will never. That's just something that I don't want to remember. So yes, that's my spiel. So I said precognition or premonition. The next one is psychic surgery, the ability to remove diseases or disorder within or over the body tissue via an energetic incision that heals immediately afterwards. So that is another ability that people do have. I believe shamans, Native Americans, are more of that type of healer, or in that healing class, I'll say. A lot of people may have it, but I would figure and I would think that Native American shamans would have that ability. It's a good ability to have, even on yourself, to kind of figure out if your astral body or spiritual body has anything that it does not need, anything that is blocking it from being complete and 100% with you. Psychokinesis or telekinesis, the ability to manipulate objects by the mind. Again, that is something that I believe is true, because I've heard and I've read about it a lot. There are people that may have it, that may not. All of these are all of them, if not some of them, are learning processes. So like the psychokinesis, or telekinesis as they call it, you can learn. But be patient with it, because it is a process. It is not something that, again, is taught and learned overnight. It takes years, if not months. It could be anywhere from a month to a year. You could learn it as quick as that. Again, you have to be patient, because these abilities aren't easy, and they're not easy to control. Psychometry or psychoscopy. I just know psychometry. Psychometry, I should say. Sorry, not psychometry. Psychometry is the ability to obtain information about a person or an object by touch. That is another ability that is true. Some psychics have that ability, to where if they have a picture, or if they receive a picture from, let's just say, a haunted area or a haunted house or place or whatever, they are able to kind of get a sense of the different things that are at that place just by touching a picture, which again is very cool, and it helps, especially if you're buying an old house that has pictures and that you can even find online, because again, sometimes they won't show themselves very quickly. The spirits, I mean, sorry. The spirits won't show themselves very quickly. It takes time. So people with that ability are very good with the energies and spirits before they go into an area. Remote viewing, telesthesis, or remote sensing. Now, remote viewing is the ability to see a distant or unseen target using extrasensory perception. That is also true. That's very common in psychic abilities. People have the ability to remote view anything. They could be in another country and be given information about that. A specific area, say let's just say they're in London, and there's a place or area here in California. Distance does not matter when remote viewing comes into play. You could be thousands of miles away, and you could have a team of people that go to that area before you do. It is very helpful for that person. They're very good with it, and they can kind of give you a lay before a layout before they go in there, because they can kind of sense the spirits before even doing anything. Retrocognition or postcognition. The ability to supernaturally perceive past events. So that is same thing as the premonitions, to where they can see future events. But in this case, it's past events, so past lives, things like that. Telepathy, the ability to transmit or receive thoughts supernaturally. Telepathy is also the same as psychic, or if not similar. It's same thing, just receiving information, but instead of receiving it from the spirit, you're receiving it through thoughts. So you're seeing it differently than what a psychic would see. So there's an outline. So the topics are a perineal something. Sorry, can't even talk. The first one we talked about, which was the appropriation. It's that experience. Astral projection, auras. Again, auras is another thing that a lot of psychics and a lot of spiritual practitioners are able to use in their daily work. It's a good way to tell if someone is spiritually not okay, and what I mean by that is that they have a lot of spiritual blockages. Same thing with the chakras. It's similar, but in a different way. Bilocation, clairvoyance. Clairvoyance is the ability to see spirits and energies. The things I'm listing off are an outline of what parapsychology has researched and has information on. Me being who I am, of course I read a lot of it and I look into a lot of it. So a lot of this stuff I know, and I've already kind of done my research on. So I'm listing off from now. For now, I'm just listing off the different abilities that are not mentioned in the list above where I was talking. So, Deathbed Phenomenon. So that's basically, I believe, that is when. I believe it's when. So think of like, you're in a hospital, right? And I'm gonna be blunt here. Death happens at a hospital a lot. Some people are very receptive and very open to that type of seeing. So what that is, deathbed phenomenon is when the spirit leaves the physical body. Optical perception is so it's seeing. So I don't know exactly the layman's terms for it. I just know it's something to do with seeing, like you're seeing something, I guess it could be. I'm gonna do different videos on these topics, because again, there's a long list of different psychic abilities and spiritual abilities. So dream telepathy is the same thing as regular telepathy, but instead of using it while you're awake, you're using it while you're asleep. Ectoplasm is spiritual, what we'll call essence. So like if I'm pretty sure everyone has seen Ghostbusters. Think of that, but not to slime. That's the best way I can say it. Electronic voice phenomenon is when paranormal investigators use the tape recorders. Normally, people can't hear it. Normally, people can't hear spirit voices if they're not already psychically open. So a lot of paranormal investigators will use tape recorders. Take, for instance, Ghost Adventures, where they have all this different equipment to see and hear spirits. Because again, you can either be open to it or not. It depends on the person and how you grew up. So that is why paranormal investigators kind of use the tape recorders. Extrasensory perception is just seeing the spirit, or I believe it's feeling the energies or spirits. Gen's failed experiment. I don't know what that is exactly. I have never personally heard of it. I'm gonna have to do research on it myself. So, like I said, I'm learning and I'm doing my research as we go. Ghosts, that's just the spirit. Curlin photography is just when you take pictures of a haunted area and spirits decide, okay, well, I'm going to show myself in a photograph. Levitation, again, that's the ability to fly or levitate at a certain distance, I guess you could say. I don't know. Materialization is what I said earlier, is where you kind of visualize an object, say a water bottle or a remote control. Mediumship is, again, the ability to psychically see or perceive information. Near-death experiences, they are very common. A lot of people have had them. I was one of them. I remember I was young. I remember it was at school. In fact, I had fallen backwards, and first I tripped over a crack in the sidewalk, like any clumsy child would. So I had fallen backwards, and I hit my head pretty hard on the concrete, and I don't know if I was dead. I just know I was unconscious. But I remember seeing my twin brother spirit. Just for a brief second. It was for a brief second, and I was knocked back in. I was knocked back into my physical body. Orbs is just the spirits. Again, it's something that, like, if you have a camera set up in a haunted area, let's just say, orbs are common to come flying through or near the camera lens. Out-of-body experience is what I mentioned earlier. It's your astral body. You're kind of just sleeping. You're not dead, but you're not aware of it as much. Pam Reynolds' case. Again, that's another thing from parapsychology that I'm going to have to do research on, and I will make a video on that as well. Parapsychology research at SRI is, I guess it's a college, I'm gonna presume. I'll do research on that as well. Past life regression is basically it's basically when you start to remember your past lives. Again, a lot of people have had past lives, if not one, then many. I am one of those people. Yes, I'm young. I'm 23 years old. But that does not really matter in terms of past lives, because you could die young, you could die old, it doesn't matter. Past lives is just it's a life you lived before you moved on to either this life or the next, or whatever you want to call it. And for a lot of it, you kind of start off in a clean slate, so you don't remember anything at first. You kind of have to learn and kind of experience it all over again, all these different experiences that you had, and so on and so forth. Again, that is very draining, and it's very, very scary, because you remember a lot of it in vivid, if not just in detail, in general. A lot of people are even on their very first life, to where they've just been born into this life. So this is their first life, so they're barely what we'll call newborns in a spiritual sense. Plant perception paranormal. Something I do not know. I'm going to do research on that and do a video on that as well. Poltergeist is just spirit. Think of it as like the Poltergeist movies, in a similar way, if not the same. Precognition is something where you see future events. I believe it's future events. Let me check if I'm correct. Precognition, yes. Future events. Again, that's very common for a lot of clairvoyants, psychics, and people in different practices to have. Psychic abilities is just a generalized word for clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, all that stuff. Psychic detective is basically a paranormal investigator, but with a psychic ability like clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, you name it, there. Psychic surgery, the ability to kind of do spiritual surgical incisions and take the energies that is no longer needed. Psychokinesis is the ability to, again, it's the, ability to manipulate objects by the mind. Psychokinesis is the one? Yes, that is the one. That is the psychokinesis. Psychometry, that is, again, the ability to obtain information by thought, or not by thought, to obtain information about a person or an object by touch. Like I said, like, say you have a photograph and you give it to a certain person that may have that ability. They can sense what is in that picture or at that place or location. Pyrokinesis, just the manipulation of fire. So that's another ability that's, I don't want to say it's common, but you have to learn. And it's very difficult with any psychic kinetic ability. Reincarnation is just, like I said, past lives, being reincarnated into this one. A lot of different religions and or beliefs have a different term or saying for it. Remote viewing is, like I said, someone that is able to be 1,000 miles away and sense or feel or even have information come to them from a specific location that they're not even remotely in. Retrocognition is the ability to see past events. So past lives and stuff like that. Second sight is just another word for clairvoyance. You have the ability to see spirits, feel them, the whole 9 yards. That's basically what second sight is. Sensory leakage is just too much sensory overload. Spiritually, it's not like if you're blind and you're being overloaded with sounds. It's mainly just you've been taking in a lot of information and or energies that is kind of just pouring out of your spiritual body. Spoon bending, that is another psychic ability or kinetic ability, I should say. If you've seen The Matrix, then yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Telepathy, the ability to kind of, what I remember, let me see. Telepathy, the ability to transmit or receive thoughts supernaturally through spirits or other divine natures or supernatural natures, whichever. So, photograph, I don't know what that is. Zener cards is I remember reading about it. There was this person that made these cards specifically to see if a person had psychic abilities. Mainly, I believe they use them with twins to see if the twins had psychic abilities. Xenoglossy, I don't know what that is. I'll have to look that up. Again, active organizations, American Society for Psycho Research, or whatever it's called. Basically, that's just like somewhere where you can receive information about these different abilities. Association for the Scientific Study of Anomalous Phenomenon. Again, it's a college, or I guess something along those lines. Again, I'm going to leave the link to this Wikipedia page, because again, there is a lot of information. There's a lot of different links to all these different topics that are on this Wikipedia page. Again, I'm going to say this because I don't know how 100% true it is, or if it is even true at all. I've just been doing my research as much as I can. But I'm going to tell you guys, because I don't want to give you misinformation. Take everything that you read on this article, if you do decide to go to this article, take everything with a grain of salt. Don't off the bat believe all of it. Much like myself, I do my research because I need to and I want to understand what is truth and what is not. Or what is mainstream media's fluff, I could call it. So again, I'm going to leave the link to this article in the description below. And that is the video, or this is the video, I should say. So, again, if you like the video, give it a like. Subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on the post notification bell and click all to receive a video every time to receive a notification every time I upload a video. Now, with that being said, hit the like button, make it turn gray, do that. Hit the notification bell, click all, like the video, or dislike the video if you feel that you didn't really like it. And I'm going to leave a poll somewhere up on the iCard, wherever that is, and see if you guys want me to continue with this and make it a series on my channel, to where I talk about these different abilities and different psychic, what we'll call psychic or supernatural phenomena or abilities. Because again, there's a lot of information, and I love doing my research on all this stuff. It is something that I've always been fond of as a child, and even now in my adult years. Because with anything, information is key, and information is knowledge. So I'll leave a poll up in the iCard, and we'll see if you want me to continue it, if you want me to move on from it, or what. Again, I may do the videos anyways, I don't know. But we'll see what the poll says. Because this is I believe it's very insightful. All the information, everything. But if you decide to do your own research, do a lot. And I mean college level research. Because it's a lot of information. So again, like the video if you haven't, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and click all to receive videos when I post, or receive notifications when I post. And comment down below if you believe in it, if you don't, what your thoughts are on it, whatever you want to comment, and I'll be sure to look at those, comment my own thoughts on those on the comments. And again, since my channel is so small right now, I'm able to kind of go through the comments, and comment on all of them. Again, I don't mind the videos, or not my videos, my channel being small, because it gives me a chance to know the ones that are truly going to be here for this channel. Now, new ones are appreciated, and if this channel grows, that's great. If it doesn't, that's fine too. I'm not going to worry about it, because it's something that I like doing. I like being in front of a camera and just talking and doing my research and doing videos like this, much like this. It's already been 15 minutes. And I'm still talking. I think this is the longest video that I've done. Honestly, this is the longest video that I've done. Because me being the person that I am very open to all of it. To everything. I don't really call myself, or not I don't really fit into one religion. So that's why I call myself a spiritualist, or a spiritual believer. Because, again, all these religions are all the same. People may not agree with that, but it's true. You believe what you want to believe. I'm not gonna, argue with it, and I respect it. I respect everything about these religions. Another thing, I grew up in a Christian and Catholic home. My dad was Catholic. My mom is Christian. At a young age, my mom had taken us to Christian churches, because the way those churches are, they're more upbeat and they're more fun. Catholic churches is just, in my opinion, very boring and very bland, because you're just sitting there listening to the pastor go through the scriptures in the Bible, which, again, it's not bad. I don't mind it, but I like it when the church is having fun, before the service, dancing, singing, just having fun. That's what I like about, like, Christian churches. Like, they're fun. They're always, there's always music. And I told my mom, I think I was in high school. No, was in middle school when I first started to realize that I really didn't fit in with a lot of the normal Christian and or Catholic religions. And she was completely supportive of it. She loved the fact that I was able to kind of come to the conclusion on my own self, and my own self-growth. Sorry. So, thank you. All of it. Thank you. For letting me, do this. This is something that I love. I love making videos, and I love doing this. Do I want it to be a full-time job? Of course. Is it gonna happen? Yes. Will it happen overnight? No. I know a lot of people that have started YouTube channels. They kind of gain a big following because they know a lot of people. Again, myself, I don't. I'm new to all of it, and I'm learning, of course. So again, that's it. I'm gonna stop talking, and I'm gonna say this one last time. Like if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell and click all to receive notifications when I post a video. Comment, give the video a like or dislike. I said over 3 times already. Again, thank you. Have a good day, good night, good evening, whenever you're watching this. Even a good week. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.